Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Kate, thanks for joining me today. And we are going to be talking about my most anticipated reads for 2025. This is a video of everything that I want to try and read by the end of the year. I think I'm done setting myself the challenge on Goodreads of how many books I can read, and I want to start focusing on just which books I want to read instead of how many I want to get through, because there are so many books that I want to read, and I think if I put a number on how many I want to read, I won't appreciate the books enough, because I'd just be trying to read to try and hit that goal. So my New Year's resolution for this year was to not do a reading goal on Goodreads this year, and just to read whatever I want. And so this video is going to be sort of like a start of the year, even though we are already through the first month of 2025, which is crazy. But I want to share with you guys the books that I want to try and get finished by the end of the year, and then at the end of the year in December I can look back on this video and we can do a comparison on which books I got round to reading and which books I didn't, and will be carried on into 2026. So without further ado, let's get into the video, because I feel like it's going to be quite a lengthy one. The first book we have that I want to read is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Now this is the sequel to the extremely popular Fourth Wing, in which we follow Violet Sorrengail, who is training to be a scribe, but then turns out that her mother actually wants her to join the Rider Quadrant of this like academy thing, and all she wants to do is just be a scribe, and she wants to write about history, and her mum basically tells her, no, you're gonna ride a dragon and you're gonna fight people. And so we follow Violet through her journey of rediscovering herself after not being able to follow through with the one thing that she's been training for her whole life, and you really see her grow into someone who is sort of not completely different, but she sort of grows into her own, and becomes a lot more confident, and becomes stronger mentally and physically through her journey within Basgiath War College. So Iron Flame follows on from Fourth Wing. It's been out for ages and I still haven't gotten around to reading it, because I know kind of what happens in it. I don't know, I don't know fully what goes on, but there have been spoilers on TikTok, obviously, because the book has been out for I think like a year now, maybe over a year. So I'm not too worried about spoilers for Iron Flame, because it has been around for a while and it is my fault for not getting through it sooner. But hopefully 2025 is the year that I actually get through Iron Flame. Now, following on from Iron Flame is our second book, which is Onyx Storm, which is also by Rebecca Yarros, and that is the third book in the Fourth Wing series, or the Empyrean series, and it follows on from Iron Flame. Who knows what goes on in that book? Don't know, because I haven't read Iron Flame, so I don't know where we are. So really excited to read that. I'm really loving the Empyrean series, even though I've only read the first book. But I know I'm going to love it because I love Violet and Xaden. And Riddoch. Rydok? It's going to be another Ianth situation, isn't it? But yeah, so my first two books are the second and third installment of the Empyrean series. Although I am worried about finishing Onyx Storm this year, because apparently the fourth book isn't going to be out until the end of 2027. So that's going to be interesting. The third book that I want to get read this year is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I don't know much about this book except the fact that it's got dragons in it. And I love dragons. And to be honest, that's pretty much what sold me. As soon as I heard people say that it involved dragons, I was sold. Jumped on Amazon, bought the book. So yeah, I'm really excited to read that. I've heard a lot of people rave about it on social media, and I can't wait to see what the hype is all about. Just a disclaimer, by the way, I do have all of these books in physical copies. The reason I'm putting a picture up here is because I can't be bothered to move from my seat. Maybe I should start actually getting the books out. That means I'm gonna have to put them back. Fuck it. The next book that I want to read is, and to be honest, I'm glad that I'm doing like books that I want to read for the whole year, because some of these are going to be themed books. So the next book that I want to read in 2025 is Haunt Your Heart Out by Amber Roberts. Now, this is obviously a Halloween book, or a Halloween themed book, and I got it October last year with the intent of reading it around the Halloween season. But seeing as this book is featuring in this video, we can all see that that wasn't accomplished. This book, I'm pretty sure, is like a small town romance, and she works at like a bookstore, and this guy comes into the town because he's like a ghost hunter or something, and they bond, they fall in love, and yeah, it's sort of like a romance set within a Halloween theme thing. God, I'm so, aren't you glad? Are you surprised that I work in sales with how well I'm selling all of these books to you? Crazy, isn't it? The next book that I'm going to talk about is A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver. Now, this is one of the series that Elsie Silver has written. So we've got the Chestnut Spring series, and then we have this series, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Gold Rush Ranch series. Yeah, again, this is a small town romance again, with a former soldier and this woman, and they're forced to sort of live, and yes, I am reading the back of it, by the way. I don't know what this is about. Shall we read it together, actually? So, I don't have my glasses with me, left them at work. I met Violet Eden online. What happened between us in our chats was meant to stay anonymous and in the past, until it didn't. It's a small world, but Ruby Creek is even smaller. When I move to the tiny town, the grumpy facade I've created slips when Violet and I are forced to live under the same roof. Every time her eyes flare with heat, the ice I've encased myself in melts. She has me wanting things I can't want, things I don't deserve. But my invisible wounds have the power to ruin us both. As a former soldier, I should have the discipline to walk away, but the more I open up to Violet, the more I want to keep her. I came back from the war a different man, but my scars are older and deeper than anyone knows, and I planned to keep it that way. I planned to keep my secrets hidden. Until her. That's some good shit right there, that's some good shit right there. Next we have The Striker by Ana Huang. This is the first book, I think, in a new series. TBC, hello. A series of fuck off. A series of interconnected standalones. So we've got The Striker and The Defender. So I'm guessing this is a football, or for my American audience, a soccer romance. Oh, it's about the Premier League. God, that's... Oh, you've already lost me. Oh, good lord. I'm gonna have to get Freddie onto this. He's the football one. I don't know a thing about football. But that's fine. I don't need to know anything about football to read about love. Do you know what I mean? It's a close proximity. I've read King of Wrath and King of Pride. I haven't read King of Greed or King of Sloth yet. I need to read those, which are also by Ana Huang. And I've read Twisted Love, but I haven't read any of the other books in the Twisted series, even though I have some of them on my bookshelf. So those are also going to be mentioned, but let me just mention them now because we're talking about Ana Huang. So I also want to read King of Greed, King of Sloth, and the rest of the Twisted series. So Twisted Games, Twisted Lies, and Twisted Nuts. Moving on. Next we have Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. This is the second series, this is the second book in the Boys of Avix series, the first one being Say You Swear, which I also haven't read, so that is also one that I want to read this year. And this is basically a romance where he has fallen in love with a woman or girl at university, except she is in love with, or her ex-boyfriend is now dead, and the dead man is also the father of her newborn son. Wild. And it basically follows their journey together. So that might be emotional for me. Let's not talk about it too much because I'm already getting sad just thinking about it. Next we have Vengeance of the Pirate Queen by Tricia Levenseller. This is a spin-off from the Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen duology. And this follows Surinder. Is it a spin-off? Was Surinder in the original trilogy? Duology even? Anyway, it's set in that world. Really excited to read it because I quite enjoyed the Daughter of the Pirate King duology. I love the characters, and yeah, can't wait to read this one. The next book is actually kind of rogue for me because it's not romance or fantasy. This is The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert, and this is a horror thriller novel in which 4 people in a small town go missing and no one knows what's happened to them. And we follow a girl called Nora whose best friend Becca has gone missing, and as she's trying to figure out what happened to Becca, she starts to unfold a lot of secrets of the town, and it sort of reminds her of a game that her and Becca used to play as children. This is probably like top 5 anticipated reads of this year, because just from the synopsis of the book it sounds amazing and it sounds like something I'm really going to enjoy. So I can't wait for this one. Oh god, it's gonna be so good. I hope it's not part of a series. So yeah, really excited to read that. Next is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. Yes, I do have a list on my phone that I'm reading off of. A Fate Inked in Blood is a book that I have known about for years. I never got round to reading it. I read her Bridge Kingdom duology and really loved those books. So I feel like I'm going to love A Fate Inked in Blood. It sounds like something that's right up my alley, and we all know that I love fantasy. So put 2 and 2 together and I'm gonna love it. Then we have Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is a book that I have only just recently heard of. I haven't really been on like book social media stuff for a while, and all of a sudden it's just come back onto my TikTok and my Instagram again, and Quicksilver is one of the books that is probably most talked about. No idea what it's about, but I am excited to read it because whenever there's a fantasy novel that's being talked about highly on social media, more often than not I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm really excited to read Quicksilver because I understand how people can get a little bit worried when a book has so much hype around it, because they're like, oh well, what if I don't enjoy it, or what if it's too hyped up and it's not actually what it's meant, like, cracked out to be. And I understand that, but I think I'm kind of the opposite. It kind of intrigues me because I'm like, shit, if it's so hyped up, there's got to be something about it that people are liking, and if I don't like it, then what the heck? Do you know what I mean? The next book that I want to talk about is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Now this is a thriller, and I don't normally read thrillers because if they don't hook me straight away, I get bored and then I put it down and I don't pick it back up. However, with The Housemaid, I have heard so many people like talking about it and saying that like even if you don't really like thrillers, you'll like The Housemaid. I don't know what it's about. All I know is that she's a housemaid and she tries on someone's dress or something, and I don't know how that can be a thriller, but I'm intrigued enough that I want to find out more. This year I'm trying to slowly like branch out into more genres with 2 thrillers. Next is actually A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I know that, you know, SJM has kind of got, I don't really know what's going on with her, to be honest. I don't know where we stand with Sarah J Maas as an author, like as a person, but I have had A Court of Silver Flames for a good 4 years now. 4 years now. Still haven't read it, so I'm hoping that I can get it read this year. I'm just waiting for a few things to happen before I can get that done. Also by Sarah J Maas, I want to read the Throne of Glass series because I've heard it is legendary and I've only read the first book of the series, which I'm gonna have to reread before I read Crown of Midnight. I also don't know when I'm meant to read Assassin's Blade, so if someone could tell me the order in which I should read the Throne of Glass series, please let me know, because I ain't got a clue. Next is Feybound by Sarah L. Afari, and I feel like that's not her name. Arifi, idiot. And it's Saara. How ignorant of me. Apologies. Next book I want to read is Feybound by Saara L. Arifi. And this is about fae and elves, and I'm pretty sure enemies to lovers. Yay! So really excited about that. Then I want to read the rest of the Belladonna series by Adeline Grace. I read Belladonna in about 3 days, which is quick for me nowadays because I've got so much going on. But it was one of those books where I literally wanted to race home so I could read it. And I haven't had that in a while. So I want to read Foxglove and I want to read Wisteria because Adeline Grace is just such an amazing writer. But yeah, I'm really excited to finish the Belladonna series. Next we have Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. I have read the Serpent and the Wings of Night duology, which is also by Carissa Broadbent. Loved it. There will be a video coming soon. I'm still having to work bits and pieces out. But there is going to be there is going to be a video about The Serpent and the Wings of Night. It's just taking a while for me to actually get it all done and ready for me to film. But look out for that. I'm really excited for that to come out. Next I want to read is House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, and this is the first book in the Sisters of the Salt series. I'm going to read you the synopsis because I don't actually know what this book is about and I only just added it to my want to read on Goodreads, so let's find out together. In a manor by the sea, 12 sisters are cursed. Annalie lives a sheltered life at Highmoor, a manor by the sea, with her sisters, their father and stepmother. Once they were 12, but loneliness fills the grand halls now that 4 of the girls' lives have been cut short. Each death was more tragic than the last. The plague, a plummeting fall, a drowning, a slippery plunge, and there are whispers throughout the surrounding villages that the family is cursed by the gods. Disturbed by a series of ghostly visions, Annalie becomes increasingly suspicious that the deaths were no accidents. Her sisters have been sneaking out every night to attend glittering balls, dancing until dawn in silk gowns and shimmering slippers, and Annalie isn't sure whether to try to stop them or to join their forbidden trysts. Because who or what are they really dancing with? When Annalie's involvement with a mysterious stranger who has secrets of his own intensifies, it's a race to unravel the darkness that has fallen over her family before it claims her next. Top 10, okay? Top 10 that I want to read. That is so good. It's giving me gothic. It's giving me One Dark Window. It's giving belladonna. The next few books I want to read are all by Stephanie Garber, and we've got Legendary, Finale, Once Upon a Broken Heart, the other one, Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love. I read Caraval last year. Amazing book. Again, couldn't put it down. Was always reading it. Really loved it. Loved Stephanie Garber's writing style, which was weird because normally I don't usually like YA, if it even counts as YA. But yeah, I'm really excited to read those books because I know that they're all sort of intertwined with each other. I think that is where we are going to leave this video for today. I want to put it into parts because otherwise we'll be sat here all evening and I just don't have the time. Even though I want to talk to you guys all night, I don't have the time, okay? I'm a busy woman with a life. Yeah, so that does it for me today. I will be back shortly with a part 2 of the books that I want to read in 2025. However, there's already loads on there, so whether we're gonna get through all of the books that I have planned is another question, but it's going to be really interesting to see which books I actually do manage to get through and how many I do as well. So yeah, thanks for joining me today, guys. Please comment down below if you have read any of these books, and if you have, what did you think of them? If you haven't, would you want to read them? And also tell me some of your most anticipated reads for 2025. They could be new releases, they could be books that have been out for a while that you've only just started coming round to. A lot of these books that I want to read this year have been out for years and I have only just gotten around to reading them. So let me know down below, guys, what your most anticipated reads of 2025 are. Tell me more about these books that I've mentioned in this part. Give me more reason to read them. And yeah, my socials will be down below. I'm more active on TikTok and Instagram, so if you want to participate in future videos coming up, that is where to get involved. Make sure you're following, because if you're not, you're missing out, and then you've only got yourself to blame. Don't do that to yourself. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you get notifications for when I upload, because you do not want to miss this. I know you don't. You're welcome. Leave a like, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe you should share it with your friends too. Let them tell me what to read, because we're all a community here, we're all a family. May as well get them involved. But other than that, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you guys in the next video.